Hello, hello. Welcome back. Beans and germs, how's everyone going? Today, I am just kind of going to be relaxing. I'm probably going to be playing Pathologic 2 later on, but right now, as you can see, I am deep in the thick of it. Hope you're all doing well on this Saturday afternoon. You caught me in the middle of a game. I lie, of course. I intended for this to be what you saw. But play along with me. We've got it's not so bad out there today. A little bit chilly. We're getting into the colder season now, and with okay, yeah, no, lots of things going on. Okay, I can do that and get you. Cool, got it. All right. Yeah. So I decided to play a little bit of Suika game because it's been a very nice, calming sort of game to play. I know not everybody likes it. They find it frustrating, and it can get frustrating at times, especially when the physics does not behave as you would wish. But I've been liking it so far. I've been able to get decently far in some runs, but not every run is a winner. I would explain my methodology, but I want to do that at the beginning of a game. So right now I'm gonna try and lose as fast as possible. What does this get me? How does it Alright, I'm just sort of clicking randomly. Surely this will stack up and kill me eventually. This is taking longer than I thought it would. Alright, come on. You're making this harder on me. Watch, this is the best game that I ever play. God. I don't know if I'm just like instinctively putting things where I think they should go. I don't know if you can hear me clicking, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Okay. So yeah. Jesus. Come on, guys. We're trying to lose here. Alright, I think we're getting there. You can do it. I'm presuming everything's coming through okay. Hello, E12. How's it hanging? Good to see you. 1 second. Let me perform the proper procedure. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. 12 flames. You're good. That's good to hear. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. My birthday was actually on Wednesday, but I could not stream on Wednesday, so we're doing this today. I'm starting with a little bit of Suika game. Hopefully, moving on to some other things later on. I have some stories to tell. I have a game to play. But right now, we're just sort of chilling. Oh, my pleasure, A12. And Lynx. It is Lynx as well. And Liza. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Yes, we're playing some Suika game. And his chat, but I thought I'd say it here too. I appreciate it. And Mug, welcome. Thank you. I like the hat too. It was it's from Wikimedia Commons. I searched for birthday hat, and here we are. Hello. It is good to see you all. Yeah, like I said, my birthday was this past Wednesday. I cannot stream on Wednesdays, so I can only stream on Saturdays. So we're doing the birthday celebration here. And my birthday present to myself is having absolutely no hard plan for what we're doing today. So I started off with Suika game. And yeah, we're going to be, I think, starting off a new game here, and I'm going to try to vocalize my thought process. Said games. Do you think I should like full on put the category as Suika? Because it's not like I'm not going competitive or anything. I don't know. Maybe I should set the game to Suika. Yeah, fine. I'll set it for Suika game. Suika game. There she be. There we go. All right. So while I am, before I start, how's everybody doing? It's a nice Saturday. I think, depending on where you are, it might either be Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, or I guess at this point it could even be Sunday for some people. But how are you all doing this fine day? I'd like to hear. You're hungry? Well, there's a great way we can fix that. You got any munchies there around you? I'm sick and tired, so I'm doing art and chilling. I'm sorry to hear that, Lynx. Not the art part, but the sick part and the tired part. Just about to get out of bed? Yeah. It's probably pretty early, especially for people over on the West Coast. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock for them. 9 in the morning. Got to write a 3-page paper too? That sucks. What's the paper about, if I can ask? I'm going to make coffee and sip on it while I work. That is a good plan. Especially if you Oh, you're on the East Coast? Okay, fair enough. No. I've had that sleep schedule before myself, so no judgment here. I know how that goes. Yeah, 3-page paper. How much time do you have to write the 3-page paper? Like how close is the deadline? God, what's the shortest distance between deadline and actual typing of a paper that I've ever done? Not sure I could say. It's double space, so it ain't shit. Compare and contrast research articles with blogs on the past papers I wrote. Okay. That's manageable. It's due tomorrow, but I'm not worried. Yeah, I think you're solid, especially approaching it a day before. I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah. The I'm trying to think like what's the most procrastinated I ever did something in college. I think probably like I did like a paper the day it was due and it was 9 pages. Jesus Christ, that I could not do. I could not write 9 pages in a day. I'm not that fast of a writer. You should see the how long it's taken me to write some of my scripts. I protract that process quite a bit. 9 pages in a day. Jesus Christ. I was up fucking late. I bet you were. You would have to be. There's only so much time in the day. Like, okay. You did. Okay, hold on. Actually, you did it in less than a day. You did a paper the day it was due. Hold on. How long did you actually take to write this paper? It has to be like a matter of hours. I was up fucking late. Bullshit, man. I had work and I was like, welp. Yeah. Worst I did was like 1 or 2 pages the morning it was due. Okay, I can understand that. Especially if you're motivated. 6 to 8 hours, no lie. That's a page an hour. That's more than a page an hour. Jesus Christ. No. I could not do that. Mario Kart Coconut Mall saved me. Okay. I'm going to need you to explain what that means. What does that mean? Mario Kart Coconut Mall. I'm going to be real. I flat out do not understand. You're playing Mario Kart? It's a song from Mario Kart. Look it up. Okay. I thought you were like playing Mario Kart while you were writing this paper to keep yourself sane. And I'm just like, holy shit, that makes it even more difficult. Absolute banger. I believe you. Mario Kart tracks are usually bangers, and they have to be because they need to keep up with the tone of Mario Kart, which is usually pretty frenetic. Yeah. That's an accomplishment. I think the worst that I ever did was I assembled a PowerPoint on a bullshit fake product that we had to pitch like the day of. PowerPoints are not so bad because they're a lot less content dense. It's so high speed that I just kind of zoned in. Fair enough. See, for me, it's difficult for me to focus when I have like really active music playing. I generally have to have like chiller, more atmospheric stuff to like be on in the background while I'm working. I think that's just a matter of personal taste. I definitely know people who like could not get work done unless they were listening to thrash metal or whatever. So it's kind of just whatever calms your nerves, I guess. Yeah. In college, I think it was like sophomore or junior year. I was in a class called Professional Communication for Engineers or something like that. And the idea was that, in an engineering degree, you wanted people to have some knowledge of how to actually communicate with other people because, it's a bunch of engineers. That's a skill that kind of needs to be taught. And, they put us together in groups and said, make up a pitch for a product that you come up with. And I think I was responsible for the PowerPoint. I don't know. Been a while. It's been a while. And I think I threw that together at the very, very last minute. This paper, though, I'm going to kind of cheat because I'm going to read the abstract, parts of the description, and the conclusion because I don't want to read the 12-page article. Liza, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. That's how physicists read articles professionally. That's how we do it. Almost nobody reads the actual content of the paper. That's just how it goes. Actually, I wonder if that's outside of because like Mug, are you still here? Are you still in the background lurking? Because you are in a similarly professional environment. I will not disclose details, but can you confirm that this is how a lot of papers get read? Is that how it works in your field too? Because in my field, in physics, it's very common to just read the abstract, the conclusion, maybe like the first couple sentences of a paragraph that you're interested in, and then call that having read the paper. or are you held to a more, usually straight to the charts for us? Yeah, okay, that's. I can agree. I can agree with that. Community college me was so different to me now. Now I'm just like, I must plan a week ahead. Yeah, no, I'm a fucking genius. You are. You've intuited the correct way to read papers. If it has no charts, it's of no use to us. Listen, its charts are nothing, right? Because like, I know a lot of fields. So like with physics, it's a little bit different because oftentimes in physics, there's a lot of math, like straight math that you can like read the derivation of. But with a lot of sciences, that's not usually something that gets done. Mostly because like there's no equations in biology, or at least there's not many, and they're not they're for very specific purposes. I can't wait to tell pandas. Yeah, you tell them. That's the secret. Yeah, because with most sciences, there's not a whole lot of focus on like step by step rigorously deriving equations and stuff like that. There's more of a focus on the qualitative analysis of things. And again, the data, because again, most sciences are empirical. All sciences should be empirical. And so the charts and the data, that's where all of the really juicy stuff happens. I just have more of an experience with the side of more theoretically focused physics, which tends to focus on the math because it's all theoretical. But yeah, you've definitely clocked the proper strategy, Liza, of uh, let's call it educated skimming of papers. You're gonna do fine. But yeah, um, psychology is so read this and explain if it's ethical. And I'm like, it's not, but here's why. No, you've got it. Fortunately for physicists, we do not often run into ethical problems. It does happen sometimes, um, particularly in uh, matters of atomic physics, if you catch my drift. Sometimes physicists are very starkly confronted with the ethics of our practice. Um, but fortunately, most of the time, it's just like, hey, we're building particle accelerators and better telescopes and things like that, and we've figured out a better equation to calculate the gravity or whatever, and we can do a better simulation of galaxy mergers or something like that. It's very uncommon for us to be confronted with ethical problems. The read this and explain if it's ethical. I feel like I took a cognitive science class once, and I seem to remember questions of that nature coming up. It's been a long time though. God, that class was probably more than no, it's a little less than 10 years ago. Like a final I have involves a research paper with child abuse and impact on adulthood. Mainly like not the very nice kind, like physical grooming. Ugh. And it's like, this is not ethical, but we need to educate people to see and understand. So this is something that I don't quite know. Liza, you'd be able to educate me on this. The the typical course of a psychology education, it seems to me like that would need to involve a pretty solid grasp of philosophy. Is that typically part of the curriculum to have like philosophy courses, or like where does the ethics come in? Is there like a professional ethics slant to it more, or because whenever I hear discussion of ethics, I think like philosophical ethics and like philosophy classes. Um, but obviously I've never taken a philosophy or excuse me, a psychology curriculum, so I'm wondering like where does that come in? We definitely not never got any sort of philosophy classes in the physics curriculum because I think physicists tend to have a little bit of a barely veiled disdain for philosophy. But with matters of ethics, I feel like it's sort of unavoidable. In any case, like, you'd have to receive some level of training for at least professional ethics. Because I know, like, in the engineering classes that I took, there was constant ethics has been discussed the most in my psych AI class. And if we, as researchers, should take personal posts and accumulate them to understand more on strangers, but there are more signed contracts for this stuff. Okay, so it's sounding more like a legal basis for the ethical discussions. Am I getting that right? Okay, good. That's that's pretty good. I know, like when. Okay, so like the degree that I took in college was engineering physics, which was basically just a physics degree with all of the engineering core classes tacked on, and like a couple extra engineering classes as like spice. There were basically no gen eds, and that was good because the degree that I was taking left basically no room for electives. So I didn't take I think I didn't take many electives at all during my college. It was basically all laid out in the requirements for my degree. But I shouldn't just take posts and shove them together and be like, if you post like this, you're depressed because it's not ethically nor morally correct. Yeah, yeah. I'm also not totally sure it's that accurate, frankly, but that's just from, my outsider layman's perspective. I know that there's a lot of discussion on the AI thing and like exactly how much insight you can glean from that. This is a discussion that was being had in the physics community for years before the whole chat GPT thing caught on, of like, okay, how much knowledge can you actually extract from a machine learning model? And the general consensus seems to be, among the physicists at least, sometimes you can extract knowledge when you're interpolating between data points, like when you're trying to cover the range of data points that you've already collected. But if you try to extend outside of that, if you try to extrapolate, you can just extract no knowledge whatsoever. Bro, ChatGPT is crazy to me. That motherfucker knows how to code. See, it's interesting because I've heard different from computer programmers. Because, okay, so the idea behind a machine learning program, at least to my understanding, is that it's just taking a bunch of examples and sort of averaging them out to figure out what the most probable next piece of information is depending on the input. Like what's the most probable next word or next letter or next pixel in a painting or whatever. So if you give it a big enough data set, it can produce reasonably accurate results. The problem is that with code, reasonably accurate is often not good enough. Because code is a very fickle thing. Oh, yes. Hello, Bitten. Hello, Bitten. Here, let me give you... Oops, I am on the wrong window. Hello, it's good to see you. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. Yeah, you don't want to be, like, sort of right on code. Especially from a security standpoint. And so what I've been hearing from a lot of computer programmers is that the specificity of the prompt that you need to give ChatGPT in order to produce the correct piece of code is so much work that you might as well just code it yourself. I don't know a lot of them that rely on ChatGPT. Like maybe as you can sort of think of it like generating something you could use as the analogy for a sketch in a painting, giving you just sort of like the general outlines of what to code. But nevertheless, you'll need to basically code it yourself to get it to perform exactly what you want it to do. I feel like AI is a fad. It'll die out in about half a year. Honestly, it goes through cycles. Do y'all remember Cleverbot? I don't know. Maybe that was too long ago. But I feel like people will realize in its current form it can't do too much. I mean, it's not that it can't do too, like it can do things. The matter is like, okay, how accurate is it? And of course there's the ethical issue of like, okay, where exactly did you obtain the data sets that you trained this on? Because they don't tell us. Like they won't show us their data sets that they train these things on. Same thing with NFTs. It still has its shills, but nobody cares about it. Yeah, like that's also sort of the corporate cycle of like trying to find the next big thing and make a quick buck. I'm turning to dust as you spoke the words Cleverbot. Yeah. Okay, so somebody else remembers Cleverbot. Cleverbot, it works on basically the same kind of technology as ChatGPT. GPT is more advanced and more subtle, and I think has access to more data. But fundamentally, they're kind of working in the same way as these sorts of machine learning algorithms. I generally don't like using the word artificial intelligence because I think it paints an incorrect picture of what's going on in people's heads. So I generally prefer machine learning systems. But that was Cleverbot. Cleverbot trained itself on the people that it was chatting with. And I don't know what kind of moderation was present behind the scenes. I presume there had to be something because you'd have to like moderate profanity and stuff like that. But yeah, Cleverbot was functionally the same thing as ChatGPT, just, a little bit less advanced. And I don't recall people being as up in arms and losing their goddamn minds about Cleverbot as they were about ChatGPT. And I think that's largely because of marketing. I think GPT had better marketing. It was the thing that, all of the tech companies were pushing. But I don't think it was fundamentally that qualitatively different. I'm a tiny bit concerned because I want to eventually write novels and stuff, and having my dream job replaced by a robot is a possibility. See, this is the thing. I'm not totally sure that it will be, because I don't know how often you interact with ChatGPT or any of these similar machine learning systems, but you can tell that they're not quite up to par. And it's not like one of those things where it feels like, oh, okay, in a couple years they'll be able to iron this out. It's like the entire structure of the way these systems work is probabilities. They're calculating what is the most probable next thing to write. And because of that very nature, it kind of, by its construction, can't take risks. It has to, by its nature, play it safe with everything that it writes. And so they really can't get too creative. Like everything that looks like creativity that comes out of these systems is basically it just referencing something that a human being made. And then calculating odds of like, what is the most probable human facsimile that I should write in the next sentence or whatever. Might end up like a diamond market where you have the real books and the lab-grown equivalent, where the organically written one has more value. Hello, Francis. Yes, I am playing with my melons. Hello. Welcome. In theory, I'm playing with my melons. In reality, we're having discussions. We are engaging in discourse. How are you? You striking and dashing in these lands? I hope I'm not late for your birthday right now. That's okay. Everybody's late for my birthday. My birthday was on Wednesday, but I couldn't stream on Wednesday, so I'm streaming today and having my my quote unquote birthday stream today. Yeah. See, the thing about the diamond market analogy, I see where you're coming from, but I think there's a difference in that, like, lab grown diamonds and quote unquote natural diamonds are like physically indistinguishable. They are literally the same product. Whereas the books written by ChatGPT and machine learning systems, they are noticeably different. And I think they have to be noticeably different because of the nature of the way these systems are constructed. What the hell is this? What do I dare click on this? I don't even know where this will. Hello, Francis. Yes, I am playing with my melons. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. I'll take that. I did have an awesome birthday. My birthday was very nice. I'll put more discourse on the top. Yeah, it's thank you for the clip, Bitten. That was very good. My birthday was on Wednesday. Again, it was just sort of a chill day. I had a nice lunch. I went on a day trip to Micro Center to buy a USB switcher, which is always a treat. I like going to Micro Center. It's just sort of it's kind of a kid in a candy store feeling whenever I go there. But for dinner, I had ramen, and then I watched some streams and played some games with some folks, and it was a nice day. My mom and dad were very nice. They baked me a cake and gave that to me, so I had a home-baked cake on my birthday, which was quite nice. Yeah, the birthday was quite nice. However, the preceding week before it was full of a lot of interesting stories, which I guess now's as good a time as any to tell you those. In fact, before we get into the game here, yeah, interesting stories, interesting stories. Well, you will be the judge on how interesting they are. But let me. Okay, I need to get over here, and then I can transfer us here. Ha ha ha! All right. Behold the drawing screen. All right. Let me get this set up so we can practice some visual aids while I'm. I need to move things around just a little bit. How are you doing today? Oh, you are. Okay. This is a weird thing that my tablet, every time I reboot my system, it has to be like unplugged and replugged because it forgets that it's existing. It's sort of trying to exist on two monitors at the same time. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. I guess we'll go that way. Yeah, okay. I can make that work. Yeah, screen. All right. So, I'm just having this up partially as a test for the system, but also to have some visual aids. All right. So, let's start with pre-Thanksgiving. All right. As you'll know, or I presume you know, American Thanksgiving was very recently. And it is, there's a lot of build up to it. But in the build up, in I want to say maybe the week before, our internet just totally died. For reasons that we're not completely sure about, we think that what happened was that there's a box in our basement that has okay, here's all the lights and stuff, and here's a bunch of cables and a battery. And this is the thing that, the demon core, as if you will. This is the thing that controls the flow of the data into and out of our place. And it's happened before where the battery has just completely conked out on us. When that happened, the battery got replaced by a non-battery dedicated power thing. And something slipped when holding the metaphorical screwdriver. Yeah. It could have been, honestly. We're not totally sure what happened. But the internet cut out randomly in the middle of the day, and we, called up the internet company, which was Verizon, and they said, we'll get somebody out to you by Wednesday. And our internet went out on a Monday. So we were just kind of sitting there for a few days, not able to access the internet, which was inconvenient for a number of reasons. Number one, I could not watch anything on the internet. I could not read anything on the internet. I had to... There was something that I needed to do online. And so what I had to do was I had to drive all the way to a McDonald's and just imagine here's me sitting at a table in McDonald's, hunched I I was I need to order something. So I ordered some nuggets and sat down at a table just so that I could get access to the McDonald's Wi-Fi, and then it turns out the McDonald's didn't even have Wi-Fi, so I had to burn through cell data. Fortunately, the repair people came just on time and discovered that it was a pretty easy fix. They replaced this box with a much smaller box that does not have the same problems. You mean we could have had a McDonald's stream? Damn you, McDonald's, for not having Wi-Fi. If I ever stream to you from a McDonald's, that is a cry for help. Alert the authorities immediately. What would I even do at a McDonald's stream? When it's just like, hey guys, here we're gonna be trying the new McNugget meal. Poggers in chat for the McNuggets. You can do a food review? Yeah. I can do one of those things where it's like I review every item on the dollar menu and then do a tier list afterwards. Fuck, this is starting to sound like a halfway coherent idea. You need to stop giving me ideas. The bottom line is that we got our internet fixed eventually, and it was all good. But man, that was a stressful couple days because my my cell phone has a certain amount of data that I am allowed to use every month. My cell plan. And by the time that the internet went out, it was around about this level. I did not have much data left on my plan for that month, and I had to make that stretch over those 3 days. Here we have gray slop, and here we have gray slop with a soggy lettuce on it. Yes, yes, yes. McDonald's foot lettuce. Wait a minute. I thought it was Burger King that had foot lettuce. You're telling me more than one place has had foot lettuce? That's disappointing. You should do it. You should do it. Was that Burger King? Okay, I believe Burger King would have foot lettuce, but McDonald's I hold to a higher standard than that. I was not willing to believe that the clown prince of food would stoop to such a level. Anyway, so that was pre-Thanksgiving. You reading this just sounded so right and so wrong. Yeah, that's the that's the vibe I'm always going for. Constantly straddling the fence between the sacred and the profane. I know you're not a chemist, but you should like do experiments on Subway sandwich ingredients to figure out just what the hell it is. Okay, fun fact. I believe in Ireland, Subway bread is not legally allowed to be called bread because it has so much sugar in it. It has to be legally classified as confectionery. Yeah, it's like it's legally a cake in Ireland. So, I don't know. Maybe just be aware of that next time that your Subway bread is sweet. At least here it is. Like, okay, so this is the thing. America subsidizes corn so heavily. And as a result, we put high fructose corn syrup in everything, even bread. Like the bread here's that's one of the things that people remark on most when they come to America from overseas. It's like, God damn, everything is sweet here. And it's true. It's because we just put sugar in everything. Yeah, what the fuck? I'm also pretty sure somebody found out that Subway tuna has no trace of tuna DNA in it. Look, as long as it's fish, it's fine. Boo! Hello, hello, Boo! Welcome, welcome. You're just in time. We're talking about Subway, of all things. Yeah, a Subway employee here. She was summoned by calls of Subway discussion. Hello, Boo. Hello, Boo. I should probably. Hold on, guys. Is it reading? What's the category look like to you? Because for me, it still says just chatting. Is it? Does it still say Suika game for you guys? Hello, hello, everybody. And C, welcome, C. Hello, hello. Yeah, it says Suika game. Okay. I'll need to change that briefly. Sivari, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. How are you doing today? We're discussing all manner of things. I feel like American cuisine makes being healthy super hard. Like I'm used to Chinese food making vegetables the dish and making them feel good as opposed to Americans making eating salad a chore. That's exactly the case, Bitten. This has been like nutritionists and dietitians have been studying exactly what it is about the American diet that makes overeating so easy, and it's this huge conflux of things. But um, the general gist of it is that America makes eating healthy very difficult. Even in like when you try to make things yourself, like if you go to the grocery store and buy a loaf of bread, the loaf of bread has tons of sugar in it and fat as well. When like normal bread doesn't. Also lots of dairy. Yes, yes, yes. Even salads are bad for you these. Yeah, because of the dressings and stuff. A McDonald's stream party. Yeah. I hope they don't mind me having their logo here. I guess that's free advertising. Um, so one of the things that led to this, this crossing my perception is that there was a big discussion a while back the on specifically ultra processed foods. We seem to have been able to track down that it is the increasing prevalence of ultra processed foods that's leading to the obesity epidemic and to the increasing prevalence of metabolic syndrome more generally. We seem to have very conclusively established that it's ultra processed foods that are the main culprit, but we haven't been able to figure out exactly what it is about them that causes that. That's still an area of active research. Also, who the fuck invented salads? Caesar, Julius Caesar, I think. I've been yelled at by a customer for not knowing the protein count each sub has. Do you guys have like a nutrition facts sheet that you can just like throw at people? American salads are disgusting. I feel like I'm a giraffe munching on a tree. So painful trying to find normal bread without sugar. Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. We used to, but we got rid of it. That seems like a that seems like a pretty big thing to not have anymore. Fucking Caesar, I hate that guy. I hope he gets like stabbed in the side or something. I hope he gets stabbed in the side multiple times, like 17 times or something like that, just to throw out a number off the top of my head. Like in China, hot pot restaurants have slices of meat along with vegetables that taste good as a dish instead of American salads being a punishment. Yeah, exactly. Like, is so touching on the ultra processed thing for just a second. I have my own theories about like what it is about ultra processed foods that makes them more calorie dense. Like for one thing, one of the easiest ways to make a food more shelf stable is to take the water out. But if you take all of the water out, you get like a crunchy, dehydrated cracker, and nobody wants to eat that. So to preserve moisture, a lot of companies will replace that water with fat. And then also like the just inclusion of high fructose corn syrup and everything. Fun fact, fructose as a molecule suppresses the hormone in your body that tells you that you're full. Like regular, like glucose, which is another sugar, doesn't do that. But fructose does slightly suppress your satiation hormone, which leads you to just eat more generally. So yeah, I think like a good first step is banning high fructose corn syrup. That's horrific. Yeah, it is. If you have to tell your kids eat the veggies before the actual food, then your cuisine fails. Yeah, I think it's also like the American cuisine gamut is not super great at cooking vegetables. Like people find the concept of roasting vegetables kind of like a novel brain blast when they first see it, which is honestly one of the best ways to cook vegetables and make them taste good. But for some reason, Americans are always just like, whoa, like these roasted vegetables are so good. Like, yeah, they are. The sandwiches change so often they can't keep up. Oh, that is also a problem. Yeah, I can understand. And especially now that they're just like adding foot-long cookies. Jesus Christ. I knew a teacher who used mushrooms as burgers and then lied to her kids till they found out the truth. Mushrooms are a pretty reliable replacement for meat in a lot of contexts, especially if you can find like the right variety of mushroom for the meat that you're trying to replace. It's pretty solid. Boiled broccoli along with eggplant in a soft stew is amazing. See, I don't think I've ever had boiled broccoli. I've had boiled vegetables before, and to me, they always just come out mushy. Maybe I'm just overboiling them, or the people who I'm getting from are overboiling them. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Jazz, thank you, thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing today? We are having many much discussions. You're missing out. I very well could be. That would be the case. Yeah, I often find that people overboil. Yourself some good Chinese food. Go to Frisco Chinatown. Your mind will be blown. I've actually been to Frisco Chinatown once. Fellow fish lovers, please try swordfish. My life has changed. Really? Okay, so I saw that you posted about this in the Discord. Was it really like legit awesome? Because I've had some good fish before. I've had salmon, I've had cod. I've never had swordfish. How big of a revelation are we talking here? It was so good. Okay. I'm intrigued now. God damn it. Now I need to find some place I can get swordfish. Can I keep the sword? You'll need to negotiate with the chef on that, I think. Even when people are on a healthy diet, I always see people cook what's considered healthy foods into unhealthy foods, like frying, adding so much sugar, etc., to make the diet seem appealing. Not saying it's a bad thing, eat what works for you, but I just feel it just odds me. Yeah. No, I definitely noticed that too. Rose Pennas hates these motherfuckers. Pennas hates swordfish or fish in general. It was kind of a fancy Italian restaurant. Okay. It was relatively close to steak. It was so tender. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going back. Wait, where's my... Yeah, here's my thing. I'm looking this up real quick. I want to see what swordfish looks like. Swordfish fillet, I guess? Oh, whoa. That does look a lot like steak, unironically. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Swordfish or marlins, and I still don't know why. Okay, so it's more specific than just fish. If you want some good seafood, try king crab. Yeah, I've also heard that those are really good. I don't live close to like a huge body of water, so we don't have a lot of seafood places around here. Panda doesn't like fish that can fight back. Because he feels like he needs to like personally wrestle everything that he eats. It's a little known fact, but Panda's actually like personally suplexes every like bowl that turns into a cheeseburger that he eats. He does it himself. It's a matter of pride for him. Blue marlin steak is my go-to. It really does taste good with just some butter and super tender. Yeah, the good meats generally do just taste good with butter. King crab legs are sweet. I tried it when I was over in Greece. That shit was expensive. Yeah, I can imagine. Today that's your birthday? No. My birthday was on Wednesday, but I couldn't stream on Wednesday, so I'm doing it today. But hello, monkey. Hello. It's good to see you. Our waiter was Greek. Okay, hold on. Is there some connection between the Greek nation and swordfish? Is Greece known for its swordfish exports specifically? I don't know. I'm not a fish guy. I'm not a cataloger of the angling arts. Anglering? It feels like angling would not be the correct word. Whatever. 110 euros for king crab pasta. Ooh, boy. That's a hit. Bro, this motherfucker was like flustered watching me break open crab. This guy hates the ocean. Wait, I feel like we talked about this at some point before. I feel like we talked about this on one of... I don't know. I think it was like my sister was in chat once and we were discussing how my dad eats crabs or something like that. And Pandas was like not down with the crab process. The most expensive thing on the menu was a $500 cognac. God, that's how you know, first of all, that you're in a fancy place. When they're like, when they have a separate wine menu, first of all, but also that you can like buy a $500 cognac, like they'll list that for you. One recipe I think every college student under the sun should know is chopped tomatoes with scrambled eggs. It's not what you think. It's actually like super good. That's interesting to me because I know people like ketchup on their scrambled eggs, but it never occurred to me to like go straight to the fresh chopped tomatoes. But it makes sense. I think you would need some probably good tomatoes though, because I've heard that like fresh tomatoes off the vine are like a completely different experience than store bought tomatoes. Crab be hard to crack open. That is true. It is a bit of a labor to eat crab. Okay, come on. Um, where am I? I lost my place. I love salmon so much I can shove a pound of that stuff in my mouth. Salmon is a really good staple fish, and it's also pretty forgiving as far as like cooking it is. So if you're looking for like a fish to try cooking, I would recommend starting off with salmon because it's pretty forgiving. Yes, your sister fucking hates something. Um, I don't remember what it was. Oh right, she also hates crab. She she hates crab to the extent that if she likes something and finds out that it has crab in it, she will retroactively hate it. They ordered so many appetizers that I was glad I picked the swordfish since everything else I wanted was there. Oh, like all of the other like things you wanted to try were in the appetizers? That's good. Kind of like a shakshuka. Yeah, 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 yeah. I've also never had shakshuka. I feel like that's another pretty forgiving recipe from what I remember of it. Not scrambled eggs like American scramble. Okay. Yeah, I know everybody has their kind of like their own version of scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs are just like a universally human invention. I guess it's pretty easy to invent scrambled eggs now that I'm thinking about it. You just start trying to cook eggs and then make a mess of it, but they're still edible and they're still tasty. Ketchup on eggs is good. I've heard it was never my thing, but like growing up, I knew people like friends and family who liked ketchup on their eggs. So it was definitely a popular topping. Tomato has lots of umami. It adds a different flavor than just ketchup on scrambled eggs. Yeah, that's also true. Because ketchup is pretty sweet and pretty acidic. I should try it. I should try getting some like fresh heirloom tomatoes and really having a go at it. You put eggs and chopped tomatoes in the pan at the same time. The tomatoes leak their flavor into the, I presume you mean eggs, and it's divine with rice or bread. That happens to me too. I have the same thing with shrimp. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I found the picture of my king crab pasta. Now I want to eat it again. Did you go looking for king crab pasta in your photos and subject yourself to this psychological torture once again? Yes, well, I cannot blame you for reminiscing, I suppose. Whoop, that's not what I was supposed to do. Pardon me on that. I can DM it to you. Yeah, please. I'd like to see it. Talking about psychological torture. Oh no. Oh yeah, the Swalot's command. 5'8". That's 1.014 swallots tall. I think like 99% of cognito hazards is super goofy. It's the trouble with it is that like, oh, that does look really good, Lynx. That does look really, really good. And they give you like full chunks of it too. That is there's little bits of it in the pasta and they also give you like full strands. That's a really good pasta. Yeah, no, I understand why you would want that again. Cognito had swallowed five. Oh, that's not even a swallet. We're in sub swallet territory there. So I get we're talking foods. What are you drawing here? Okay, so this was this was based on a story that I was telling about how my internet went out for like 3 days at the beginning of Thanksgiving week. Um, I have a couple stories that I'm trying to get through gradually. You know, it's we're under no pressing time constraint or anything. But I'm telling some stories about the time since last I streamed, and this was one of them. I want to eat it again. Sorry, I saw it and was curious. No, that's what it's there for. Yes, it is the story of the Demon Core. We've been establishing this. Yeah, the thing about cognitohazards, just to sort of wrap that up, is that it's very sort of creepypasta territory, but I have found that especially under conditions where people are not having the best time, they can legitimately stir some panic attacks, which is why I try not to engage with cognitohazards in a public forum. Like, I know the one in particular that we were talking about the other day, it was posted on a forum with people who were very sort of the type of people who would be. Oh, the category is Suika still. Yeah. Okay. I will alter that back. Just chatting. Yeah. I kept moving back and forth between. Okay. See, interesting. Now it says Suika game for me. Does it say just chatting for you now? Yeah, like the one in particular that we were talking about the other day, it was posted on a forum for people who were very susceptible to that sort of pseudo reasoning, and it legitimately caused a lot of distress there. So I generally just try to avoid talking about cognitohazards in public. It's updated. It's just chatting now. Okay, so it appears to be one game behind on my end. Fair enough. Okay, while we're on the subject here, I can tell the next story. We're now moving out of pre-Thanksgiving and into Thanksgiving itself. Why is this brush so soft? Oh no, I was just seeing it wrong. Okay. Okay, so Thanksgiving Day came, and Thanksgiving is a day that, at least for Americans, is equal parts stressful and delicious, because you have to, depending on who you are, either eat lots of food, or make lots of food. And this year, our family was the ones responsible for making a lot of food. So, like, the day before Thanksgiving, we all started going over to my parents' house and prepping the food for this year's feast. We are making or socializing with dinner. Yeah, no, that's not even getting to the aspect of, like, if you don't like the family that you're eating with, it's a whole fiasco. It's a whole ordeal. Yeah, 07s for the family that has to make Thanksgiving dinner. I was personally responsible for making the turkey, because, believe it or not, this may come as a shock to people in and around this community. I'm actually known in my immediate family as the one who does all the cooking, like, experimentation. I am known as somewhat a foodie amongst my immediate family. And I promise it's not all just Miracle Whip chicken. Let them cook, they do. And this year they let me cook the turkey. Because I had a turkey recipe. Like, I've cooked turkey before. And Atomic Cook. Ooh, okay. I like that name. So I've cooked turkey before. They knew this. So they're like, hey, can you cook the turkey for Thanksgiving this year? And I said, okay, sure, I'll do that. We had a big crowd coming. So we got a 20-pound turkey. Not the largest turkey that you can get, but nevertheless, still a pretty large turkey. So, you need to factor in how long that'll take to cook and everything. And the thing with cooking turkey, I'm going to see if I can just do a rough illustration here of turkey. Okay. I've done worse illustrations. That's readable as a turkey. Turkey key for next Thanksgiving then. Honestly, it might have gone better. So yeah, this is your typical turkey. You've got, the the drums or the legs, you've got, I did not really illustrate that there, but you've got the thighs. This is not to scale. And then up here you have the breast. Now the problem, better than I could draw. Hey, this is just off the cuff. I'm sure you could produce a beautiful masterpiece given the proper time to work on it. Breast, yes. Kid, calm yourselves. Yeah, we're talking about turkey here. Let's not. This is a family show. The problem is that the breast cooks and is best at like 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And you'll forgive me for using Fahrenheit. I am an American, and it's what I know. I I feel like I should have like commands in chat for converting between Celsius and Fahrenheit. That's got to be possible, right? Surely somebody's figured out how to code that. But forgive me, I am not able to on the fly convert. Maybe if somebody is if somebody has Google up, they can post the conversions in chat. But in Fahrenheit, the breast needs to be cooked for 165 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 347 Kelvin. Thank you, Francis. 347, so that's somewhere around 60 C, I think. Okay. 165 Celsius is around about 60 C. 73. Okay. 73 degrees Celsius. I'll write that down, actually. 70. We'll call that 74 degrees Celsius. All right, so that's the temperature at which the breast is best. All right, this is anything higher than this, and you start drying out the white meat. For the dark meat, the drums and the thighs, these are actually good at much, much higher temperatures. Are we explaining optimal cooking temperatures for poultry? Yes, because it's part of a story. Also, hi, Redacted. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Welcome in on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Shout out. Redacted. Nobody likes Kelvin. Poor Kelvin. Hey, look, I'm a physicist. I'm a scientist. I love Kelvin. We used Kelvin all the time for work. We would, if not using Kelvin, use Celsius. Physicists, nobody in the sciences uses Fahrenheit. It's all just like day-to-day activity in America. Even despite using Celsius and Kelvin for work, I still don't have a good sense for them. Like, I know that 25 degrees Celsius is around about room temperature because it's defined to be that way in lots of the chemistry books and stuff. But other than that, I don't have a very good sense for degrees Celsius. Anyway, point is, drums and thighs are best at, in my opinion, much higher temperatures, like 185 Fahrenheit. Which, if somebody would be so kind as to convert that to Celsius, I would be much obliged. Yeah, so the drums and the thighs, the dark meat is better, I think, at much higher temperatures, like 185 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, a lot of the connective tissue starts melting, and it becomes a lot juicier and a lot easier to eat, as opposed to lower temp. 85? Okay, 85 degrees Celsius. Cool, thank you. My body suddenly realized that, hey, you're supposed to be sore right now, and I just collapsed. It's like that Looney Tunes moment where they go over the edge of a cliff, but they don't fall until they realize they're over the edge of a cliff. Gotcha, boss. Thank you very much. You are the man in the chair today. So yeah, the hard part about cooking any bird, chicken, turkey, whatever, is getting these two, the white meat at 165 and the dark meat at 185 at the same time. That's the trick, right? Because if you just blast the whole thing with heat universally, from the beginning, it's, they're both going to be getting to the same temperature at the same time. So either, the breast hits 165 and the drums are at 165 and kind of gross and like sinewy, and not very easy to eat, which I don't particularly like. Or you get the dark meat up to 185, and the breast is at 185, and it's basically chalk at that point. It's completely destroyed. So you have to play this like balancing act with the turkey and you have to like employ all kinds of tricks to get the turkey to the same, to get like the dark meat at a higher temperature than the white meat by the time the turkey is finished cooking. To get the breast hot enough? Well, it's the problem is actually getting the thighs hot enough. Now, the strategy that I was using was I was basically starting the turkey out on the stove and, cooking it on the burners on the bottom. Thighs? Yeah. This is just the world we're in now. So this was the strategy, was to like spend like half an hour just cooking the bottom of the turkey on the stove before I put it into the oven. That explains why people can't stand Thanksgiving turkeys. Part is either overcooked or undercooked. Exactly. It's the same problem with cooking any bird. It's a sort of mechanical problem that you need to overcome to get a good bird. Now, generally, I tend to... I work with smaller birds than this usually. So I think the problem that I was running into this past Thanksgiving was that I had to spend a lot of time cooking this thing on the bottom to get it like to a higher temperature. So the strategy is to like, start cooking on the bottom, get the thighs and the drums, or the legs as they're called, 20 degrees hotter than the breast. And once you've achieved that state, then put the whole thing in the oven and let the whole thing come up to eating temperatures. Many much thighs in chat right now. It's true. Although I do notice that some of those are not thighs, but rather fitness. So I think you might want to reassess the emotes that you're choosing there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, the sound process. So what can go wrong? Well, I put the thing in, and also when you're doing this process, it's really useful to have a dual probe thermometer that you can just like, stick one of the probes down here in the thighs, have the wire running off, and then stick another, temperature probe here in the breast and have a cable running off there. Yeah, that's just what we want Twitch to think. Yeah, it's fitness. Not thighs, it's fitness. And so this was what I was doing. I had like one thermometer probe in the thigh and one in the breast. And so you can alien abduct the turkey. Yeah, exactly. These are the tethers that you use to drag them out. No, it's just thermometer probes. Make sure you get oven safe thermometer probes. You don't want to make that mistake. And so I put this thing in. I employed the strategy. I got the bottom of the turkey 20 degrees hotter than the rest of the turkey. I put it in. And for most of the cooking, as it was climbing hotter and hotter and hotter, that 20-degree difference was maintaining itself. So I thought, perfect. This is going to work out perfectly. That, by the time that the breast is at 165, that 20-degree difference will have the dark meat at 185, and I'll be able to pull both out at the perfect time, and it'll be great. The problem is that I was worried about the stuff in the bottom of the pan, whatever, the little bits of caramelized juice and some of the fat burning. I was worried about the bottom of the pan burning. So about halfway through, I opened the oven and poured some water into the bottom of the pan to just keep it from burning, which is a trick that you can do. Like, that works. The problem is that I put in cold water and I also opened up the oven. So by putting, a bunch of cold water into the bottom of the pan, I inadvertently sucked a bunch of heat out of the bottom of the turkey, and this 20-degree difference started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking until eventually, by the time the breast was at 165, the drums were also at 165. So I learned that strategy is not good. I think next time, if I were to do this again, I would at the very least try to pour in hot water, like maybe boiling water. I don't know. I would honestly, I would try and arrange things so that I wouldn't even need to worry about the bottom burning at all. Like I would probably like put a bunch of vegetables down in the bottom so that I wouldn't have to worry about the burning. Like the turkey wasn't ruined or anything, but my strategy, my carefully concocted strategy was for naught. But I learned a lesson for next time, which is don't pour ice cold water into the bottom of the pan that you're trying to maintain a 20-degree temperature delta in. Roast it in a wire rack, maybe? See, I actually, from my experimentation, limited though it has been, but from my experimentation, it's actually more likely to burn if you roast in a wire rack, because the thing that lets the stuff on the bottom burn is contact with oxygen. If it's not contacting oxygen, it can't burn. And so with the turkey right on top of that section of pan, it's not getting access to any oxygen, and the stuff on the bottom can't burn. Which is why I'm thinking like covering the rest of the thing with like, I don't know, maybe throw in a carrot, throw in a bunch of carrots or maybe like an onion slice or whatever. Like covering the other exposed surfaces of the pan with food would make it less likely to burn. Because again, the bottom of the pan, the actual stuff on the pan, is not in contact with oxygen. But that's still a work in progress. This whole procedure is still a work in progress. So all in all, not the worst thing. But it was a little bit of a disappointment that my strategy didn't work. That makes sense? Fair. Yeah. Unfortunately, this was not the worst thing that happened in the prep for Thanksgiving. And with that, we move on to our third and final story. Let me prepare the board for Act 3. The true tragedy that befell us on Thanksgiving morning. Erasing everything. I probably should have used a larger eraser. And then, okay, now we're good. And back to the color. Okay, so as I was getting ready, again, we were all over at my parents' house, getting things ready, getting the preparations ready, tables, tablecloths, beginning some foods. I had to go down into the basement. And when I was down in the basement, I noticed something. There was this puddle of water, this tiny little shallow puddle of water coming out from underneath some of the things that were stored in the basement. I'm talking like, okay, we've got like some boxes stored, maybe like an old mattress down there. This is what a mattress looks like. Just some crates of tools and stuff. And from underneath, I see just this little tiny puddle of water. It's not super deep, but I could see it coming out from under all of these things. And I thought, that's weird. And then I look further back, and I notice that behind all of these objects is the hot water heater for the house. This is, to put it mildly, a bad sign. So I notify everybody else in the house. I find my dad, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I said, I think the hot water heater might be leaking. So this immediately spurs everybody to action. We go downstairs, we start moving all of this stuff out of the way. Eraser. How big is the eraser? I'll just use the eraser tool. We start moving all of this stuff out of the way. Getting the mattress had the mattress had like soaked in some of the water. That was not good. But largely, the point of this exercise is to identify how bad the problem is, and if it is indeed the water heater that's leaking. So we go in and we find, okay, like sure enough, here's the water heater. And we find that this puddle that looked like it was quite small was actually covering about like this much area in the basement. And some parts of it were like a good inch or so deep in water. It like there's a drip pan around the bottom of the water heater that's supposed to catch any water that leaks out. This had overflowed into the surrounding area and was now starting to flood the basement. Slowly, but surely. Okay, so we're in full-on panic mode at this point. We start getting mops. That's what a mop looks like, right? Yeah. The basement was waterlogged. A corner of it, yes. Thankfully, I had managed to catch this pretty early, so it hadn't spread very far. But yeah, we were getting mops. We were getting like sponge mops and everything, busting out the whole 9 yards. Buckets. That's what a bucket looks like. Yeah. So we were full on panicking. We managed to get most of the water up, thankfully. It hadn't extended too far. It hadn't damaged much. We do think it did damage one of the mattresses. But we had to find out, okay, like what's the problem? Where is the damage? Like, do we need to replace the entire hot water heater? And so after some inspection, we found that if I'm gonna zoom in this section right here, and what we found was that this intake hose, this is a copper hose. The intake hose for the hot water heater, which goes, into a coupling on the top of it, had sprung a leak, a very, very tiny leak. So tiny and so high pressure that at first, when we looked at it, we thought we were looking at a cobweb. It was just shooting out like this in a completely straight collimated line. It looked like a cobweb. And, it was not a huge leak by any means, but a tiny leak over a long enough period of time can flood a basement. And so, happy birthday and stream, Atomico. Hi, Swizz. I at work. I hope you have a good day at work. I hope it's not too stressful for you. And I hope you get to leave soon. Although, what is it? Like, I think you're on the West Coast, so probably not soon. But I hope it's not a too stressful day for you. Yeah, so we were just having to deal with the fact that there was this huge puddle of water caused by this very tiny leak. Now, on one hand, this is very good news because it means that the water heater itself is A-okay. It's fine. My eyes are not for the 9 a.m., but it's not busy, so good. Yeah. Happy birthday, Tomico. Thank you. My birthday was actually on Wednesday, but I couldn't stream on Wednesday, so I'm doing it today. Hence the party hat. Yeah, my birthday present to myself is having no plan for stream today. So I'm just sort of telling stories. Yeah. So with this leak, we tried to come up with a bunch of ideas, like, can we like maybe put some putty over it or some like plumber's tape, if that's a thing. Is there such a thing as plumber's tape? I don't know. We didn't know. We had electrical tape, but that doesn't do so well in water. And also, it's Thanksgiving morning, so all of the stores are closed. All of the hardware stores are closed. We can't go out and buy a replacement hose because, like, these hoses, they're not rare parts or anything. If Home Depot was open, you could just go to Home Depot and buy a replacement hose and it would be no big deal. But it's Thanksgiving morning and all of the hardware stores are closed. Flex Seal, that would have been excellent if we had had Flex Seal. I would have loved to have tried that. But unfortunately, we do not have Flex Seal on stock. And so we would have also had to go to a hardware store for Flex Seal. I got to bring my headphones so I can't hear as good. That's a shame. we don't have much going on in the way of hearing. We've got some music going, but so long as you can vaguely make out what I'm saying, you're not missing much. Yeah, so unfortunately, we could not easily replace this. So instead, was sad even the food places was closed for Thanksgiving? Yeah, it tends to be like it's a national holiday, so I think a lot of things are like certainly government agencies are legally mandated to be closed. And I think it's very common for banks to be closed. It's common for a lot of things to be closed on Thanksgiving, except unfortunately retail stores because Black Friday has been pushing further and further into the late hours of Thanksgiving. The odds were not in your favor, good heavens. Yeah, no, it was rough. I don't think they sell copper cables at like Walmart. Not cables, copper tubes at Walmart. So we kind of just had to shut off the hot water heater for the day until we could go out to a hardware store the next day and get some stuff. Oddly enough, I think Walmart did indeed close this year on Thanksgiving. Really? Because I know even just a few years ago, it was extremely common for like department stores and big box stores and things like Walmart to be open Thanksgiving night as sort of like an early bird Black Friday thing, rather than doing it like early the morning of Black Friday. So I know my sister used to work in a retail store, and she would often have to work Thanksgiving night because of the like pseudo pre Black Friday sales that they were having there. But if that's changed recently, that's good news. I think it's good that stores are not open on Thanksgiving because I don't want people to be working on Thanksgiving. In this particular instance, it did bite us in the ass, but, you know, this was an exception. As you say, the odds were not in our favor. Yeah, fortunately, we were, we didn't have much that needed hot water that day. I did need to shower at some point, so we had to briefly like turn the hot water on for the time when I was in the shower and just like keep a bucket here pointed at the stream so that it would not flood. But that was a very brief stint, and otherwise we just turned off the hot water heater and waited for the next day to get the part. So, unfortunate. I keep waiting to try and build a PC. I didn't even give Black Friday a look-see. I ordered a PC because the whole like Steam Deck system has turned out to be a little bit more cumbersome than I would have wanted. So I ordered like a mini PC that will hopefully be able to run a decent amount of games at decent settings. I was expecting that sometime this week. I was hoping that it would arrive by the time I would have been able to stream today, but unfortunately not. It looks like it's going to be arriving Monday. So hopefully by next stream, I will have an honest-to-goodness PC that I'll be able to use for games. But keep your eyes peeled for that. Yeah, they were indeed closed, and the Black Friday sales were shit, so I wonder if Walmart's just not doing so well right now. I wonder if they're in a downturn. I don't know. I haven't been keeping a close eye on the Walmart stocks. Anybody who follows the stock market, is Walmart doing okay right now, or is it tanking? Or not tanking? Is it on a downturn? I guess is the better question. Yeah. So, fun fact about this flooding incident. This actually marks the second time that my parents' house is flooded when I volunteered to cook a turkey there. The second time. The Walmart CEO announced a deflation is around the corner. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would explain it. Yeah, so a couple years ago, I volunteered to cook turkey for Christmas dinner. Also at my parents' house. And I usually, I'm usually at my parents' house for Christmas. And so I volunteered to wake up early that morning and start thawing the turkey because it was a little bit of a short notice thing that Christmas dinner came together that year. And so the turkey was still relatively frozen, so I had to get up early Christmas morning and start thawing the turkey, and also wrap some presents because I put it off to the last minute. That's where my procrastination comes in, is in Christmas gift giving. Are you cursed? How is that a 2 for 2 scenario? That's impressive. Yeah. So look, I got up early on Christmas morning to start thawing the turkey. And the way that I do that is I put the turkey in the sink and I start, the tap running some water over it, like some room temperature water. And this is honestly the fastest way to thaw anything, especially a big thing like a turkey. So, I had that running. I went to go wrap some Christmas presents, and I was also watching the live stream of the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope. That's the big hexagon one that has like a bunch of, oh God, I just drew a diamond. the space telescope with all the gold hexagons on it. Pretend these are hexagons and that this is the solar shield. That looks awful. That is an awful rendering of the James Webb Space Telescope. Gotta head out, Atomico. Hopes this Christmas is curse-free for you. Thank you so much for stopping by, A12. I hope you have a good day. And thank you also for your wishes of non-cursedness on the holidays. I may need it. Thank you, A12. Yeah, so ignoring this terrible rendering of the James Webb Space Telescope, I was watching the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, and it was a big deal because we've been trying to launch this telescope for like a better part of a decade at this point. But it was finally on the launch pad. The launch was happening. The weather was good. We were go for launch, and the live stream was happening super, super early on Christmas morning. It happened super early on Christmas morning because it had to keep getting delayed for a few days. Like it was supposed to be, I think, 2 days before Christmas, but weather kept delaying it until early Christmas morning. And so I was watching the live stream, and the launch went off without a hitch, and I was very excited. I finished wrapping my Christmas presents, and then I turned to my side and I look, and the turkey, still in its wrapping, with the water flowing over it, had blocked the drain of the sink. And a quarter of the kitchen is now flooded in water. So this one was on me. But we nevertheless had another emergency situation in... Hello, Flame Man. It's good to see you. The fuck that you stumbled into is a story about how twice now, on 2 different holidays, I volunteered to cook a turkey at my parents' house, and twice my parents' house had a flooding incident. The first time, most recently, this past Thanksgiving, the hose to the water heater sprung a leak and flooded part of the basement. Like a year or so prior to that, I volunteered to cook a turkey on Christmas morning and accidentally left the tap in a blocked sink and flooded a quarter of my parents' kitchen. So, this one was my fault. The water heater was not my fault. But I'm starting to think that I might be cursed. The Atomica turkey curse, if you will, has claimed 2 victims now. Each time, a portion of my parents' house has been flooded. So now I'm kind of nervous to cook a turkey again. Because once, that's a fluke. 2 times, that's an unusual coincidence. But if it happens a 3rd time, that's a trend. And I'm scared to be a flood-causing trend. That's not something I want to be. But yes, hello. How are you, Smelly Flame Man? It's good to see you. Good to see you. That is indeed on me. Yes, this was my fault. Yeah, so that about covers everything that has happened to me since last I streamed. It's a dope-ass hat. Thank you very much. I got it from Wikipedia Commons. I searched for birthday hat PNG, and this was one of the first things that came up. Oh, wait, was it Wikipedia Commons? I might have just Googled this, honestly. And it was a deal, too. Yeah. All right, so fantastic. Yeah, the drawing pad seems to be working well, and the capture seems to be working well with it. Yeah, so that marks the end of story time with Atomica. We have been here for, oh god, about an hour and a half telling stories. So, yeah, that's... Ooh, I need to get a drink of water, actually. My throat is a little bit dry. A lot happened. It's true. I wonder if the results would be the same if the cooking did not occur in your parents' house. I wonder this too. Like, if I cook it off site and bring it, does the curse still apply? Because then I need to think about, like, okay, how do I properly transport a turkey warm to a separate location? I guess you could always heat it up at my parents' house. But then does that trigger the curse? Does it just like turkey in oven like trigger the ritual that the ancient Aztec deities have put upon me? Does warming it up count as cooking it? I guess is the question. We made like 8 Cornish game hens instead of turkey this year. Interesting. Was there like a particular reasoning behind that? Like, I guess, would you have more, like more dark meat per cap? I don't know. What is the reasoning behind like, oh, Hispanics don't like turkey, that's it? Okay, fair enough. It was a hectic Thanksgiving turkey day for you, to say the least. That's true. Yeah, we have a reasonably large family that comes over. And we try to potluck it out a little bit. Like, we try to say, okay, can you bring like the green bean casserole or whatever? Like, hey, can you make the mashed potatoes this year? This was the first time that we, like, my family was responsible for running Thanksgiving dinner. And so we were sort of feeling out the logistics of the whole thing. Of like who makes what, exactly when and how and where is it made. Because our kitchen is like, it's not a small kitchen, but it's not particularly well suited to a large operation like Thanksgiving, where like multiple people need to be using stoves and ovens at the same time. So it was very much like planning an invasion almost, of like figuring out the logistics of when things are happening and who's doing what with what at what time in which oven or whatever. Yeah. So it was a little bit of a hectic day. But all in all, it worked out. Like, there were no major problems with any of the food, except for like, you know, my turkey strategy not quite working the way I wanted it to. RTS min-maxing Thanksgiving dinner plans? Unironically, yes. We had a schedule with like times on it of, okay, like how much time do the potatoes need? How much time does the turkey need? How much time does the gravy need? Because that's another thing, is that I also make the gravy from like the pan drippings in the bottom of the pan that you use to roast the turkey in. So like I need extra time to make the gravy. Y'all, I made so much fucking gravy this year unintentionally. I did not mean to make so much gravy. It was like the turkey that I cooked had, like, when it was all done cooking and we took it out of the pan, there was so much turkey fat in the bottom of the pan. I don't know what happened. It was way more turkey fat than I was expecting. So I'm like, the strategy I usually use is I like put the roasting pan back on the stove, crank up the burners, and like boil off all the water and make a roux from the fat in the bottom, and that's the basis of the gravy. But there was so much turkey fat that I had to put so much flour in to make a roux, with the right consistency, which in turn means that I needed to add so much turkey stock to the gravy. We wound up with, like, no joke, a gallon of gravy. That's not even an exaggeration. Like we measured it out afterwards, and we used like a bunch of those like pint-sized like wonton soup containers that you get from Chinese takeout, and I'm pretty sure like full on we wound up with a pound, like not a pound, a gallon of gravy. That's way too much gravy. That's too much gravy, even for like the size of the family that we were serving and like the size of the turkey that we had. It was insane. I didn't even know that was possible. Neither did I, but I did it. I made it happen. You could have had a fun party game where everybody sees how much they can drink in one swig. We could have. What we also, I think we sent people home with gravy leftovers. Like, you know, there was a lot of leftover food at Thanksgiving. And so we just started sending like, you know, containers of entire meals home with people. Like we would throw in some stuffing and some turkey and some mashed potatoes, and then just top it with some of the gravy and send that home with people. And I think by the time all the leftovers were out and people were heading home, we still had like a good pint and a half of gravy. Maybe you're not cursed. Maybe you're magic and are struggling to control your abilities. Yeah, it's like an equivalent exchange thing. In exchange for flooding, we get really good gravy in large amounts. It's kind of two different kinds of flooding. One is flooding with water and one is flooding with gravy. Hold on, I'm starting to see a theme here. You may be onto something, Redacted. There are two floods that occur every time that I make a turkey. And one of them just happens to be delicious. Yeah. But that was my Thanksgiving. What about you guys? If you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, I'd like to hear what it was like for you guys. You guys do anything special? Was it a calm day, a stressful day? What did you guys eat? Tell me your Thanksgiving stories. I've been talking for too long. I want to hear from you guys. It's like Blink from the Xanth series where your magic is just removing magic, and this leads to blunders. The Xanth theories. I don't think I've heard of that one. What is that one? Is that a book or an anime? What is that? Xanth. Or Xanth? I'm not sure. It's a long-running novel series by Piers Anthony. Oh. Yeah, I'd never heard of that before. Best known for writing Total Recall. What? The movie? Because I know the book was written by Philip K. Dick. I'm fairly certain the book was written by Philip K. Dick. Yeah, double check me on that. I might be wrong. I might be misremembering. Me and a family friend spent the after Thanksgiving light show drive. Wait, me and a family friend spent the after Thanksgiving light show drive making fun of my mom's love of Hallmark movies by making up our own. That sounds fun. It sounds like a nice chill evening. I know there's I don't know if this is a thing in every family, but Thanksgiving is like the bulwark against the Christmas season for us. Like the only thing preventing us from putting up Christmas decorations earlier is the fact that Thanksgiving exists. And I don't know if that's a universal thing. Okay, Piers Anthony did the novelization of the film. So that's why I'm confused. Okay, hold on. You're telling me that a movie based on a book had a separate novelization written by a completely different dude? That's honestly kind of insane. Anyways, long-running fantasy series. It's pretty fun. Cool. Good to hear. My mom attempted to put up her Christmas trees in July. Your family is strong. Okay, even for even for Christmas encroachment, July is pushing it. Who does fantasy work, not sci-fi? Okay, interesting. A separate novelization written by a fantasy artist. What the hell? That is a little bit bonkers. I'm not going to lie. Christmas trees in July, I'm not even sure that those would last. Unless you, I guess artificial trees are fine. You can put up an artificial Christmas tree whenever you want. You can just have a Christmas tree room in your house all year round if you want. That's the shrine to Christmas. It was during Christmas in July on Hallmark. Both me and that same family friend stopped her. What the the Hallmark fandom is pretty strong, I'm getting from this. Do you think if like Tumblr existed earlier in history that there would have been like Hallmark Tumblr fandoms? Because that's kind of the vibe I get. I want to get our tree right up right now. God damn it! Yeah, the compulsion is real. It's only the 2nd of December. It's barely Christmas month. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's they have very similar vibes in ways that I can't quite describe. Tumblr and Hallmark. It's I guess it's just the sort of obsession, maybe like the casual, harmless obsession vibes that I'm getting from it. Because I feel like that's pretty typical of a Tumblr fandom, is being like maybe just a little bit too enthusiastic about something, but not in any sort of harmful way. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing that Hallmark movies get. God, when was the last time I watched a Hallmark movie? It had to have been back in high school, I think. Good God. There are 4 trees up in my parents' house, and they weren't done when I went back for Thanksgiving. No clue what the house is going to look like for actual Christmas. Are you sure that your parents are not just building a separate, smaller house in their regular house out of Christmas tree, like out of pine? Have you ruled out that possibility? Because that much new trees in a house, I think qualifies as construction. We haven't put up trees because we're dreading it with the behemoth Neptune. Oh, right. Oh, man. Is Neptune like really bad with ornaments and stuff like that and like garland and Christmas decorations? Because I've definitely heard of cats who are like that. I haven't. I know for a fact my mom wants to. They're synthetic though, so it's more understandable. Yeah, okay, I guess that makes more sense. The magic of the internet is that every movie is someone's favorite, and they are bizarrely fixated with it. That's just sort of the magic of humanity, I guess. The magic of humanity's artistic endeavor. You can always find somebody who likes anything. He was a baby last year, so he was too small. So I don't know. Oh, so it's like we can't predict how he's gonna behave now sort of situation. That's almost even worse. Because if you know what to expect, you can sort of anticipate it. But if he's a wild card, he's an unknown factor this year. That's way more dangerous. Everything, no matter how utterly dog shit, is someone's favorite. That is true. And we can take inspiration from that as creators. I told my family, and they keep sending me pictures of cats knocking down trees or getting stuck in them. Just to like, as like presenting an argument for why we should not put up Christmas trees. Just to like build the dread. He will be ripping hunks concrete from the floor and throwing it at pedestrians. God, I mean, if a cat could do that, that would be the most menace cat. And he's not the most polite boy already. Okay, we're getting into the rebellious teenager phase, maybe. If we were to analogize, might be getting into the trying to cause mischief wherever you go sort of personality traits. Yeah, the sending of the pictures and videos is an insane move. Gotta go. Later's the time. Thank you for joining us, Monkey. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you, thank you. I saw a TikTok about how you should be wary that some Christmas trees have praying mantis egg sacs in them, and you should get rid of it before they explode into praying mantis babies. But I think that makes the tree an even better deal. Personal ecosystem sounds like a win. Hey, do you guys want a surprise extra story? That has happened to an uncle of mine. An uncle of mine 1 year, years ago, got a Christmas tree that had praying mantis eggs in it, and they hatched inside of his living room. So he had a lot of praying mantises in his house that year. Happy birthday! Ah, hi Diddles, hi Diddles. Thank you, thank you. Welcome. The Mister. Oh, no. Every time. It does kind of sound cool, but it is annoying. Exactly like that. Just get rid of all your pests, yeah. They're green, so it's festive. Yeah, no, they blended in with the tree fine. Like, you needed to look close to see them until they started leaving the tree and spreading out into the world. Just a bunch of little dudes skitter around. Yeah. It's company for Christmas. That sounds nerve-wracking as hell, to be honest. I don't want to step on one of them. Yeah, I'd honestly forget how that situation was resolved. I don't know what happened. Or maybe I did at some point and I forgot. But I just know that, like, 1 year, there was a praying mantis infestation in one of my uncle's Christmas trees. We use fake trees because of the previous cats already. Yeah, honestly, for the longest time growing up, we were using, like, full-on real Christmas trees that you would go out into a field and saw down and take home with you and decorate. But it just wound up being so much hassle. Like, you have to water the tree once every day at the very least. And so you need to, like, make sure that the base of the Christmas tree isn't leaking. We've had that problem too. If your Christmas tree falls over, water spills everywhere. We've had that happen. And then you need to, like, clean the carpet. It's a whole mess. It's a way messier situation. And you're just, like, cutting down a perfectly good tree for the purposes of decorating its corpse, which is kind of morbid. So, like, I have to admit, I prefer the fake trees. Having now used both, I prefer the fake trees for a multitude of reasons. The only downside is that you don't get that pine smell with the fake trees. But what you can do is, like, you know, maybe go out to a Christmas tree farm and, like, pick up some of the, like, branches and sticks and stuff that have been cast around or left behind by the other trees and just sort of bundle them up and use that as a kind of winter potpourri in your Christmas tree room to get the same effect, which is nice. How it resolved was the praying mantises now live peacefully within his home. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be able to prove you wrong. I refuse fake trees. All my joy must come from something being killed. I mean, that's between you and your God, I guess. The fake trees are also reusable, so that's a plus. Yeah. They, like, if you get the really good ones, they can, like, fold up and store in your basement for later, and it's really quite convenient. Hang up pine fresheners on the tree. That was another thing I think we debated doing. And it was, I don't know why we didn't wind up doing that. I don't know, maybe people thought that it was, like, still a little too artificial. We do have, like, a bunch of pine trees, like, around us. So it's not difficult to find pine branches to like perfume the room that you're in. So maybe it was just like a practical matter thing. Like it was super easy to go and grab like a bunch of pine trimmings and make it into a potpourri. I forget exactly what the rationale was there. Michael's craft store sold Christmas tree spray for synthetic trees a few years ago. I don't know if they still do. That feels like something Michael's would have. Or like a Christmas tree shop. Are those still around? Do people still have Christmas tree shops? I feel like that's almost like a spirit Halloween thing. She's pining on my trimmings till I branches. As always, Diddles coming in with the word play. We just have lots of parking lots. Don't worry, that's everywhere in America. That's not a that's not just a you thing. That's everywhere. Everybody is cursed to walk the parking lot deserts. Plant nurseries kind of turn into them, I think. What, Christmas tree shops? I don't know, because like the Christmas tree shop near us was like a dedicated store with like merchandise in it. I don't actually think they ever sold like real Christmas trees. They might have sold the artificial ones. I don't quite remember, but like they were whole things. I wonder if I can like find a picture of this actually. Christmas tree shop. No, that's not what I meant. I meant that. Huh. Yeah, wait a minute, wait a minute. This might be a more local thing, actually. Huh. Well, in any case, it was sort of just like a regular department store themed around Christmas stuff. Like I remember I once got like a big like gallon tub of goldfish at one of those places because they were on sale or whatever. Uh we got to one in particular because a former student of my family owns one. Oh. That's I mean like I know. Oh my God, I misread your previous message. We just have lots in parking lots. Okay, 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 yeah. No, that's also pretty common. I know that like they'll just do basically like on the spot like almost open air markets for Christmas trees that they've pre-cut and are selling to people out in like parking lots. I've definitely seen those before. The ones with like string lights over top of them. That's what I usually think of when I think of those places. I think I remember a store. It was only Christmas supplies, and it was a big as hell. But that was in the late 2000s. Yeah, it might have. Honestly, it might have just been a like a more localized chain. Um, but yeah, you'll get places like that where they'll just sell like a bunch of Christmas merch, and it was open all year round. So you could just like go there in July and get like a dancing Santa or whatever. So it's not like they were a seasonal thing like Spirit Halloween, but they had the same kind of specificity, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. That might have been a more specific thing. In any case, yeah, the artificial trees are a much more stress-free way to do a Christmas tree than I think basically any other option. Okay, I'm gonna switch us back over to Suika game so that we can have a little something going on in the background here. I feel like I kind of just have this scribbling of a madman here in the paint page. So I will switch there, and I will switch. Oh, I think I got rid of that on my Stream Deck. Hold on. So we'll just go There. Yeah, it's the inner workings of Atomica's mind. It's an absolute frenzied mess. Honestly, the I've taken worse notes. My notes in college were not particularly clean. My handwriting is not very clean in general. So yeah. Oh, let me real quick change the category once again. Suika game. And done. Yeah, okay. It's interesting. It's always one category behind what we're actually doing. Fascinating. Yeah, okay. So, now that story time is done, we'll get to playing a little bit of a game here. Suika game, in fact. I've been playing this for a little while. I'm no expert on this game by any means. Excuse me one second. I'm going to drink a water. I'm no expert in this game, but I've managed to get pretty far. I've been able to get a watermelon a couple times. I've never managed to get 2 watermelons. Isn't this game Croatian? Really? Like it was made by Croatian people? I don't know. I haven't checked. I don't know where it comes from. Because I feel like the name Suika. Oh, you have no idea. You're just making it up. Okay, yeah. Okay. Because like Suika is a Japanese word for watermelon. So I just kind of figured that it was Japanese. But I never actually checked. So honestly, it could be Croatian. I would have no way of knowing. I would have no way of proving you wrong on that. So I guess you could say that like I kind of have a strategy with this game. I'll probably get more into it as we go along. Gaslight gate keeps smelly. Yeah. This is my curse. Well, one of my curses, I guess, is to just never be able to know whether people are fucking with me or not. Gaslighting champ since 02. Hell yeah, that's a hell of a superlative right there. 02. I would never do that. Uh-huh. I I lied. There's one person who I can always tell when they're trying to gaslight me, and that is the Mr. Diddles. Okay, so for anybody who's not familiar with this game, and I'm not sure why you wouldn't be, it's taken over, but the general gist is that you've got these fruits that you get to drop from this height up at like I can't move this further down any. It's always I can only choose where in the horizontal direction to drop this fruit. And so for example, I'll drop this fruit here. Right? And that was a cherry. You can see the guide over here on the side. What do you mean? Not long. Not nothing. Don't worry about it. It's today's onomatopoeia. All right, and so, okay, I'm dropping another cherry. I could drop this anywhere, but if I drop it on top of another cherry, they combine into a larger fruit, a strawberry in this case. And this is just sort of the game. I got points for that. You know, see, I got 2 points for that because of the cherries. And so, if I keep dropping things, I can, you know, hopefully I can combine these now. I don't actually know by heart the names of all the fruits. I kind of just know them by their color. And so the object here is to just sort of keep dropping fruits on other fruits and have them sort of annihilate each other and get points and grow into larger fruits. And it's sort of kind of has Tetris vibes, but also kind of like vibes of what's that one? There's probably not just one game, but there's games where you're trying to build up like sequences of colors in a line that then eliminate each other, and then new colors fall down. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to describe a game like that. Like Bejeweled, maybe. It's kind of like a mix between Tetris and Bejeweled. Yeah, it definitely does have Tetris vibes. Or Fortnite, I dare you, Diddles, to try and find like try and like write a theory for how this game is a parallel for Fortnite. Like, try and tease out a connection. Like, what do you think you could write for like how this game is like Fortnite? If you were in an essay contest and your essay was how is Suika game like Fortnite, what would you even come up with for that? I don't even know if I could like bullshit an answer. They're so different game. Like, I guess you could say they both run on code. But yeah, you can kind of see like the gist here of what you're trying to do. You're trying to get similar fruit to contact each other so that they can boom. Oh, nope, come on. The two oranges, they're right next to each other. And there's kind of physics. They both ultimately have no end. All right, that's a fair argument. They are both Sisyphean tasks. That's fair enough, honestly. Right, yeah. So you can also like, there's gravity, so you can sort of try and chain mergers together. So like, okay, here's an orange. I have an orange coming up. I have an orange down here at the bottom. If I drop this onto the orange, they will combine, and you can see what the next one is, into this dark red one, the apple, which look really angry for some reason. I don't fully understand why the apples are so angry. Your voice while explaining things reminds me heavily of those YouTube videos that explain extremely specific math processes. I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, I've been told I have a pretty good speaking voice, so I think I've done some light tutoring in physics before, and nothing too fancy. I have a stream idea in the works at some point, probably months and months from now. Of that will rely on a lot of sort of physics explanation and presentation. I'm thinking of doing a sort of scientific focus stream further down the line, but I will not get your hopes up by revealing details until that's more of a definite thing. Do you believe in gravity? I do believe in gravity because I've done it. I've made it happen. That was meant as a compliment. Yes, I understand. Those videos are how I passed physics and algebra. Yeah, and the science of how worms can eat dirt. That would really just require a demonstration, I think. I feel like I could demonstrate pretty quickly how worms eat dirt. It would not be pleasant. I don't want to do that. But it would be a pretty quick explanation. Yeah, no, I definitely, like, Khan Academy was how I passed high school algebra. Because fun fact, I was actually not good at math until late high school. And through watching YouTube videos, something finally clicked, and now I'm a physics teacher. Fucking hate Khan Academy. Really? I did not know that there were such strong detractors out there. What's your objection, if you do not mind sharing? Because they've always been pretty solid from what I've seen. Now aspire Mountain Academy with Professor Curtis for my statistics homework help. Perfect. Khan Academy is horrid. I just read the transcripts. They're so fucking slow. Oh, the speed. Yeah, I could definitely see that being a problem. Do they? Because I feel like a lot of their videos are on YouTube. Can you just like set a Khan Academy video at like 2x or like 2.25x speed? Khan Academy is a fundamentally bad teacher, and a lot of school districts just tell teachers to use that. Interesting. I guess I haven't checked on Khan Academy in a while. A fundamentally bad teacher. The pacing is bad, and it feels more like they're speaking to you instead of speaking at you instead of explaining. I can see it. I can see it. I'll admit, it has been a while since I watched Khan Academy. I think as like a free, like open to everybody, you know, I need lectures on this subject kind of a resource, I think they have their uses. I don't think they're the best math explainers in the world. That honor, I think, goes to a YouTube channel called 3 Blue, 1 Brown. I have never in my life seen a better math expositor than 3 Blue, 1 Brown. To the extent that they wrote their own Python library for animating math. For like visual aids animating math. And it's called Manim. And it's a really good library that you can start to see being used all over the place. And that's fantastic to see. I've also got a strong feeling because it's another thing being used to attempt to undermine our public school budget and teachers. That's completely fair. I will not even attempt to argue with you on that front. It is definitely you being used as a cudgel to beat the public school system with, which, God, who knows? The public school system has already received so much of a beating. It's a good explanation. It just feels like I'm in the room that happens to have someone talking about whatever the topic is rather than being explicitly taught it. Yeah. Because, like, wasn't the guy, Salman Khan, wasn't he like a hedge fund manager or something before he started Khan Academy? He wasn't a teacher. I think it started because he was making videos to teach his cousin or like his little cousin calculus or something. He was working at some job. I forget what it was prior to Khan Academy. I feel like I want to say hedge fund manager or something like that. It was like something in finance. Salman Khan. Nope. Okay. There's a lot of Salman Khans. I'm going to need to be more specific. Where are you? I don't see you anywhere on the main Google page. That sounds about right, to be honest. He doesn't have the right energy to teach. Yeah, I mean, it's something you can learn, definitely. There is. Okay. Oh, he's listed as Sal Khan. Interesting. Career? Yeah. He worked as a hedge fund analyst at Connective Capital Management. Okay, yeah, so he was a hedge fund guy who just got asked to tutor his like cousin or something on calculus videos, and that wound up turning into Khan Academy. But yeah, no, if you're looking for like really beautiful and insightful math education, 3 Blue, 1 Brown is the way to go. He has a series on linear algebra that is flat out the best explanation of linear algebra I have ever seen. Flat out, like not even just on YouTube. It is the best explanation I've ever seen. Because of the way he visually animates it, and he makes it very intuitive. So, yeah, I think the game has changed since Khan Academy was popular. He was a professional gamer. Honestly, I would have believed that. Okay, so the gist with the plan here is that, okay, I have this orange. There's an orange down here. If I combine this, it'll turn into an apple. And it'll turn into an apple right here at this location. You'll notice that it'll be right next to another apple. So hopefully, this means that when I drop this here, it'll chain into a sort of cascade Yeah, okay. Boom. And then those hit. Yeah, these are animated by physics. So if you're really, really good, I presume you can kind of like manipulate the general like physics and collisions of these things to get more cascades. I'm not quite at that level yet. So like I can tell that okay, these reds are going to combine into a purple and the purple is going to combine to an orange. And now we have choices to make, which is unfortunate. That's there's your philosophical statement of the day. Now we have choices to make, which is unfortunate. It is the existential lot of humanity that we now have choices. And part of those choices come in the form of a fruit game. Okay, so this light orange one will turn into a dark orange one if I just get another light orange one. And that dark orange one can eventually be used to cascade with this red one. Just don't make choices. You know what? It's not even worth it making choices. Who needs them? Not me. Telling my roomie's cat to be quiet so I can better hear a physicist explain fruit. It's one of those days. It's one of those days that make you happy to be human and alive on Earth. The beautiful absurdity of it all. Yeah, so I could take this purple and just combine it with this other purple to make a light orange. I could do that. That is a choice that we have. On the other hand, I could set this purple on top of this light orange. Because if I encounter another purple, I can drop it to go purple, light orange into a dark orange, which I could eventually use to cascade with this red here. So I think actually that's what I'm going to do. This is the strategy that I've found most effective so far, is to just sort of build up these cascades to sort of like stack a bunch of things that that can chain into each other on top of each other. So like, okay, here, I have an orange. This does like, there's a lot of places I can put this. I'm thinking like what I'm trying to build here is the makings of an orange. Looking at my copy of Disco Elysium and hearing it tell me to play it again like I'm Willem Dafoe with the Green Goblin mask. Follow the cold shiver running down your spine. You should, because I never finished it. Honestly, Disco Elysium is a fantastic game. I love that game so much. It might be one of my new favorites, in all honesty. Like, that game has legit changed the way that I write. Sometimes when I'm writing prose, I will, in my head, listen to it in the voice of the Disco Elysium narrator. And like it helps me write. I'm not joking. Like that game has such a distinctive voice that it helps me write by just imagining in that voice. It's so good. It is a wacky adventure. It's seriously maybe my number one piece of media ever. Try it again. Um, I do the same thing when I take notes. Yeah, it's the guy, the voice actor, is like such an inimitable voice, and you see it a lot also on like Tumblr. I don't actually go on Tumblr, but a lot of Tumblr posts make it to me. Oh my god! I just realized that my collar is see-through. I just realized that my collar under my my PNG is like peeking through the Suika game behind it. I never noticed that before. um, yeah, like a lot of Tumblr posts will make it across my feeds, and Tumblr likes Disco Elysium because of course they would, and they'll write like entire fake conversations between the different personality aspects. What does the narrator say when I consider getting Slime Rancher 2 for the upteenth time? Um, hmm. The language in Disco Elysium is very florid, so it would probably be something like her finger hovers over the button for a time that she cannot count anymore, debating with herself once again whether the slimes are ready, or something like that. Because, like, again, Slime Rancher 2 is in early access right now, and Jazz has been considering getting Slime Rancher 2 for a long time. What's the I worked out that, like, they posted a message when it was released saying that it would be in early access for like 18 months. And I think that brings us to like February of 2024. So I think we're getting reasonably close to the full release of the game. If the slimes call for a caretaker to ranch them to glorious capitalism, yes, yes, it is. It is a capitalism simulator game to an extent, even more than most farming games, because there's like literally a market panel where you can see the fluctuating prices of all the commodities that you're mining. It is legit, like at least a market simulator, if not a full capitalism simulator. This would be an argument between logic, interfacing, and volition. Yes. Or maybe, do we think that electrochemistry would be? No, electrochemistry wouldn't be involved because it's not like a physical consumable. Oh, the Dow is up. Time to sell the bat slimes. Unironically, yes, that is that game. See, I was thinking electrochem too. I see. For me, electrochem is like actual substances, like tobacco and alcohol and drugs and stuff like that. That's where tobacco, or it's not tobacco. That's where electrochemistry sits for me. Interfacing. I'll be honest. I don't have much experience with interfacing. Volition is definitely going to be involved. No question. I guess I could wait for the sale since they said the price won't change when the game releases fully. So, it is a sale coming up, like a Steam sale? I missed. Goddamn, I'm so pissed. I missed the Steam Award voting because I didn't see it during the last sale. They wouldn't be doing a sale right now. A sale just ended, right? I don't think they're that frequent. It's mostly drugs, but electrochem does occasionally chime in for just this would be fun. Yeah, I'm I'm debating on electrochemistry. I think you can make an argument for electrochemistry, but it's waffling. Electrochem is the reason I kept going back to slime ranching. It is a little bit of an overbearing personality trait. I've been debating going back and doing like a psyche based run, because the first time I went through I was in the intellect run. Like I was doing a lot of visual calculus and logic and stuff, just because that's how I tend to do things. So I wanted my first run of the game to be along those lines. But I think I want to try and play it again and go like very sort of emotional intelligence through. I want to, like, let's be honest, Shivers is the best personality trait in the game. I want to go like heavy into Shivers and psyche and stuff like that. I want to try and do a run like that. Maybe I'll do that on stream sometime. No sales as of yet, but there's time. I'd get an email if anything. Okay. Yeah. You've probably you have to have Slime Rancher 2 on your wish list. There's no way that would not be on your wish list, right? Perception. You see the Slime Rancher 2. Hold on. Should I do the voice? I'll try and do the voice. You'll have to forgive my impression, but here we go. Actually, I'll take a drink before I attempt this. Get some wet my whistle, as it were. It's there for a very long time. Yeah. I figured. All right. Here's my bottle squeak was so dog toy. It's a squeaky bottle. Like it's a good seal. Like it's a watertight seal. All right, I'm gonna attempt this. You see the Slime Rancher 2 pop up on your screen for the 17th time. 18th time. Your mouse moves towards the buy button on the store page. Do not fall for this. Wait until the game is complete. There you go. That was my impression of the Disco Elysium narrator off the cuff. I could probably do better if I dialed in the accent a little bit more. His accent is very specifically British. But yeah, that would definitely be the progress. Yeah. Anyway, the plan that I have here. Clap, clap. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is my audition tape for the voice acting awards. You can barely even tell the difference. What is? Oh, okay. Sorry. There's the music. I was seeing like a weirdly pulsing audio feed. It was the background music. All right. So my plan here, I think, is to stack this orange on top of this red. Because if I get another purple, this will cascade into an orange. And this orange will probably fall down and cascade into the red and maybe even cascade into the yellow. So that's my gambit right now. Okay, and this is where the thing we're like, okay, now we're starting to get into fruit that we don't want. Oh yeah, Suika. Yeah, right. We're playing a Suika game. I mean, we're loosely playing a Suika game. Mostly we're just chatting, but the category says Suika, so I need to fulfill my contract here. What do I do with an extra cherry? I guess I'll just like build you up over here. Yeah. That's not it's not the best, not the worst. I guess I'll keep doing that. You'll combine into a red. Oh, okay, we have an extra orange. I'm not sure I want to put that over here. Because I'm trying to build this cascade over here. I honestly might just stick the orange over on this side as a surprise tool for later. But then again, they just keep giving me oranges. It's Christmas season. They're throwing the oranges at me. Okay, we've got you. I can no longer directly access the light orange. So I guess I'll stack you up. There might be another potential cascade. Yeah, see, look, okay. We can build another potential cascade here. Because if this orange goes, it might hit that red. I really want to try one of these orange chocolates, see in color. Yeah, I think I remember trying one when I was a kid and not liking it, but my tastes have changed so much since then. I think I should try it again. Chocolate oranges, where do I even find those? Oh, this is a tenuous situation. All right, this could go a couple different ways. Yeah, where do I find chocolate oranges even? Do they sell those? Chocolate oranges. Yeah, okay. Looks like. Do they have to be ordered? I mean, the first result is an Amazon page, but I don't know. I'm seeing things like I'm seeing a Walmart page, I'm seeing a Target page. So they have to be like reasonably common. I actually might be near a Target today, so maybe I'll go check that out. Actually, I'll put that on my to-do list for today. If I'm gonna be near a Target, I think I'll poke around and see if I can find a chocolate orange. Chocolate orange. Cool. I don't think they have to be ordered. I feel like I've seen them around. I don't know. I'll check around. I'll see what they have. Because that does sound pretty neat. Okay, so I'm entering into a kind of precarious situation here because um this cascade that I'm trying to build, this purple into yellow or into I don't know light orange into maybe getting like one of these oranges to fall into the red into the yellow. That's a pretty long cascade, but I'm beginning to lose the possibility of getting to this purple here because things are starting to stack up. So I think I'm going to take this red and plop it on top of the purple, which means that if another red comes along, I can create an even longer chain. Hmm. Okay. It's forcing me. It's forcing me into a decision here. They do seem to be fascinating, but I've never seen them out in the wild. Yeah, I've never been looking too closely for them, though. I wonder if I've just not been paying attention to them because I wasn't interested before. But now I kind of want to look. I want to see. All right, so basically, any way you slice it, an orange merger is happening this move. Because if I drop it over here, it's going to hit this orange and cascade into this red and produce a yellow. But it's a yellow that's going to be blocked off from this other yellow by these guys. If I do it over here, it's not going to want to stay on top of this. It's going to roll down and hit this orange, which won't necessarily block these other things. If I'm lucky, it might even hit over here on this one, but I think the only possible move is to do this over here. So that's going to tumble, boom, hit there. Yeah, okay. That's not the best, not the worst. Okay, I do have a red now, so I can set off this cascade. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Huh. All right. We're going to need to start getting creative. The trouble is that this orange and this orange need to come into contact with each other. And to do that, I need to knock this orange away from the side wall. Because as you can see, the physics get a little bit weird when things are over on the side here. The physics get a little bit weird a lot of times in this game. But I think if I start wedging things in between the orange and the wall, like this small guy over here, I might be able to start tipping it over. Okay. Yeah. And here's the problem is that like spheres or circles in this case don't pack necessarily the way that you want them to, especially if you have like multiple spheres intersecting I keep calling them spheres, circles. When you have multiple circles intersecting, the constraints placed by all of the other circles start to become rather interfering with whatever you may want to be doing, which is why this game has a bit of a challenge. So I'm thinking, okay, I might try to set off another cascade over here. I need to balance that. Okay, fine. If I could wedge these two apart, like if I can get this red guy to come over here somehow, that would leave space enough for the oranges to join. Hit a red, maybe, I don't know, maybe hit the yellow, but that's starting to look less and less likely. I'm going to try wedging these guys apart. Oh, and here we have another orange. Okay. We have a lot of opportunities to cascade here with this orange, actually. So if I set this over here, I'm setting it up for a cascade later on. But if I drop it here, it's most likely going to join with the red below it. Because this was a question that I was investigating when I was playing this game at the beginning, was like, okay, here's an orange. It's connected to two reds. Which one does it join with? And I've never been able to figure out like exactly what it chooses, but I think it tends to prefer the ones below it. So let's test that. bam, bam. Oh, okay. Yeah. And sometimes it'll do that, where if it's all three are in contact with each other at the same time, it'll knock out all three and combine into the next highest level. Okay. Interesting. That was not what I was expecting to happen there, but I think we can work with that. The downside, though, is that down here in this corner now, we have this cherry trapped, not being of much use to anyone. Yeah, this is what tends to happen is you tend to accumulate like a couple smaller ones down at the bottom that never really got joined with anything. Okay, so I have a light orange. I could set that up right here on top of this dark orange in hopes of getting a cascade later on. I could try and like just drop it here so that it grazes the other light orange. I think the smartest thing to do here is to set up the cascade. Okay, but then we have the problem of like these little guys. They sometimes block. They'll get in between a couple of your fruit, and they'll prevent your best laid plans from coming to pass. I have to deal with a cherry now. My instinct is to start setting this up and maybe build larger cascade later on. Okay. So if I put you there, oh no. See, this is the thing. The physics can sometimes fuck you over a little bit. They'll bounce, they'll roll in ways that you don't fully expect them to. It's a little bit of a little bit RNG. All right. If I drop this, will you be able to cascade into the orange below? Boom, boom. Okay, yes, you will. Very cool. And that's going to tumble down. Okay. This is manageable now. I can combine you into a purple. I can combine you purples into an orange. Okay, and this is nice. Sometimes it'll give you this, where it's just like always giving you the next one that you need. It's nice when that's happening. Okay, so if another orange pops up, we can get a pretty decent cascade going here. We'll get an orange into a red into a yellow. So I guess I'll start building up more over here. And if I build that, okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Drop the orange. Nice. That's what we're talking about. All right, now we have a pineapple. This is good news. Okay. So, we now have a light orange. Somewhere that needs to go. If I do it here on top of this one, I can build up a potential cascade. This one, if I do it here, this is going to turn into a big orange, and that might start blocking off this purple a little bit. I think this is the move. Yeah, okay. And then I can start setting up another cascade there. Don't. Okay. I think we're good. Not a super convenient place for this to go. Guess I'll set you up. I keep almost knocking the orange off. I think we're going to be fine. Oh, okay, yeah. We'll just do this. Bam, bam. And we can start building up more of a cascade here. Yeah, so this is just kind of the strategy that I've been employing in this game so far. It's just like trying to build up these chains of cascading fruit collapses. I don't know if this is like the optimal strat. Oh, that was a nice one. I didn't even notice that one. I'm sure people have been like really sort of tinkering with the mechanics of this game and figuring out like all the best ways to manipulate the physics and what have you. Bam, bam. I have just sort of been casually tinkering in my spare time of like, okay, how high of a score can I get? My current high score is 2,700 exactly. I don't even remember what happened in that game. They all kind of blur together, which is the unfortunate thing about games like this is that it's very difficult to trace what you're doing or what you did to figure out how to improve. So like, okay, so this is going to cascade. Bam, bam, bam. I don't even know if it's called a cascade. I don't think there's like terms. I don't know if there's an established meta for this game yet. You might be able to become a cascade. So if I do this, bam, bam, you'll become red. Yeah, see, and here's the real trick is that as you get larger and larger circles on the bottom, they won't all fit cleanly into the bottom anymore, and so they'll like push against each other and raise the whole playing field up, which is how you eventually lose. There's a certain line up here that you cross, and once you cross that line, the game's over. So your victories do, in a sense, make it a little bit harder for you. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Anyway, this is sort of the gist of Suika game. Oh, I wish you had done it that way. So yeah, this has been my latest gaming obsession. And then I kind of just start losing patience and start throwing things around. Oh, whoa. Okay. Didn't even see that coming. All right. We are one level away from a watermelon. We are a regular melon. Please hold your applause. I feel like these don't actually make me want fruit. I feel like normally in a fruit-based game, I would be like, oh man, this really makes me want some fruit. But not this game. Except for, of course, the oranges. Or the chocolate oranges. I guess this might be the fact that like these don't really look. Yeah, no, they don't look like fruit, and they certainly don't really look like the fruits that they are. So like this doesn't look like an apple. Come on. Why is it so cross? Why is it so upset? It's not a sour apple. I don't think. It's not green. I suppose you can have red sour apples, but usually in my experience, the red ones are sweeter. I guess that's going to depend entirely on the variety of apple that you pick, actually. Now that I think about it, there's got to be so many apple varieties out there. Even just going to the store, like the local grocery store that I have, there's so many apple varieties. I went on a kick a couple years ago of trying to just try a bunch of apple varieties and find out which one I liked best. The problem is that I got tired of apples very quickly. And, you know, there were some ones that I liked. Like, I like the Honeycrisp apples. Red Delicious can go die in a fire pit. I hate Red Delicious apples. The skin is so thick and papery, and the apple flesh itself just feels dry. I don't know how to explain it. They are misleading and awful. Yes, the name is a misnomer. They are not delicious. They're red. I'll give them that. I'll give them that they're red. But they're not delicious. No way, no how. I can get down with a Fuji apple. I'm willing to accept that as a compromise. Yeah, I don't usually go in for the sour apples. I'm not a huge fan of sour flavors in general. The one exception being the watermelon Sour Patch Kids, which is one of the best confectionaries ever created by humankind. Oh, we might have a boom boom. Yeah, I really like the Sour Patch watermelons, but other than that, I'm not a huge fan of sour foods. Ah, damn it! That would have been way better to place here. Yeah, Fuji. I'm trying to think of like what other varieties of apples. Honeycrisp was definitely like the one that came out on top when I was trying things out. I remember liking Honeycrisp a lot. Although if you ask me now what it tastes like, I wouldn't be able to tell you. my my apple sense memory has degraded over the years. All right, all right. You might be able to bam bam. Oh, come on. Come on. Get out from the wall. All right, fine. Yeah, it might also have to do with the fact that Red Delicious apples were typically the type of apples that we were served at like cafeteria lunch in school. And they were typically not very good. So maybe I just like built up a negative association with Red Delicious apples. I just finished an apple and couldn't describe it. Yeah, I mean, like, in fairness, I'm not like a food critic or whatever. I'm not a connoisseur. I don't have the words, but I feel like there's a certain amount of like platonic appleness that everyone just kind of knows. And if an apple meets that criterion, they're like, yeah, okay, that was a good apple. That was a fine apple. And it's only when apples go wrong that people really notice or are able to articulate it. It's only Apple mistakes that get noticed, not Apple successes. Whoa, okay, we're moving. We're moving. We're moving. All right. Everything's fine. What was I saying? Yeah, no, it's hard to remember times when I've had good apples, but it's very easy to remember times when I've had bad apples. If I knock you off, bam, bam. Okie dokie. Start building you up over there. Okay, orange. Yeah, okay, okay. We're getting close. We're getting close to a watermelon. We have to be careful because again, these guys are pushing up. We're getting pretty close to the deadline here. You, and then I'll get you. Could I push you off? I could. Ha ha ha. All right. Orange on top. Orange on top. We can cascade there. Okay, that's fine. Boom. I don't want to start stacking things up over here on the right because, again, that tower is getting pretty close to the danger zone. So I'll stack you there, and then you should be able to go bam, bam, bam with an orange. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to try to get at least a watermelon for my on-stream performance. Okay, purple there. We'll start building up that. I guess we can start building that up too. Would you be willing to fall? You would not be willing to fall. All right. That was a gamble, and it did not pay off. You go bam, bam. Ugh. If I could just get you. Okay. I just need a... Okay, hold on. Let me think. Let me think. To get the watermelon, we need one more melon. To get one more melon, we need one more pineapple. To get one more pineapple, we need one more peach. So we just need to build up a peach somewhere in here. Or up here. Somewhere where it can contact this peach. And set off the cascade, and we should be able to have a watermelon. You're so right. I had boba and they look like that. Oh God, you're right. It's not Suika game, it's boba game. What kind of boba did you have? What flavors of boba are all the rage these days? Okay, if I do that, boom, do that. See, this is the frustrating part is when you have like two things like, oh, okay. Dirty brown sugar with pudding. Wow. That sounds delicious. What's dirty brown sugar? Is that just like brown sugar with extra molasses? I've not heard that phrase before. Dirty brown sugar. Because I know brown sugar is just like regular table sugar with molasses. Maybe I'm not even really sure. Okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna hell with it. Sugar. What is it? What are you? Oh no. You're not gonna give me a straight answer on this, are you? God, we have to start digging into food blogs. Maybe it's like a dirty chai with a shot of espresso. Check from going cha. Is that a website? Brown sugar going cha. Oh, yes it is. Going cha. Oh, it's the okay. Yeah. It's the Bubba place. Cool. All right. Our tea. Interesting. Feels like it should be in coffee, but what was the exact dirty brown sugar with pudding? Okay. Toppings, maybe? No, it's not here. Milk foam. Creme brulee. Dirty brown sugar milk tea. Okay. This is the one. Nutrition. Ingredients, maybe. Oh boy. We're digging through the PDF today. All right. Should be creative or milk tea. Yeah, okay, we found it. We just need to now figure out what the ingredient is. I was so tempted for creme brulee one. Honestly, I dig a creme brulee. The last time I had a creme brulee was probably like, God, 2017. It's been a while since I had a creme brulee. Milk foam tea, milk foam black tea. Odorless. I had one last night at the restaurant. Damn, this is a cool restaurant that you went to. I am now seriously like wanting to try swordfish. Actually, I wonder. My family's taking me out for my birthday dinner tomorrow night because it was just how best the schedule worked out. And we're going to an Italian place, so I'm wondering if I will be able to order swordfish. Yeah, I'll check on that later. But yeah, that's a tempting candidate if that's going to be an option. I was originally planning on getting the seafood risotto because I am a man who loves a risotto. But if they have swordfish, that might I might have to make a choice tomorrow. Wait, okay. Milk foam, dirty brown sugar tea. Okay, this is what we're looking for. All right. Where's the... Seriously, you're not going to give me... Oh, there it is. Okay. Creamer powder. Really? Come on. You're not going to give me... Oh, I wonder if this is just like the tea itself. Creamy strawberry latte. Milk tea, milk black tea, milk oolong tea. Brown sugar milk tea. That's just the regular brown. Wait, hold on. How does brown sugar milk tea have like 30 times more ingredients than dirty brown sugar milk tea? What's going on here? I demand an explanation. Hmm. Coffee series. I'm looking to see if they have like just toppings on their own. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Milk foam, pearl, star jelly, coconut jelly. Rats. They don't list it. Oh? Oh, what? What? Did I miss something? Did I miss it? I looked at the picture and the difference might be dirty brown sugar has a foam on top. Oh, with more brown sugar on top. Okay. Interesting. Because that sort of tracks with what I see over here. Yeah, yeah. Gongsha. I want to see like with more brown. That's a pretty. That sounds delicious. Um, brown sugar milk tea. I'm getting lots of brown sugar milk tea. Yeah, I'm not seeing. This is dirty milk tea. Messy brown sugar bubble tea? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Um, Jazz, the appearance of the tea, was it more this sort of like marbled pattern as opposed to like a completely solid homogeneous. Why are you playing? Don't play. As opposed to like a completely homogeneous thing. Yeah, it was streaky. Okay, that's what I'm thinking it might be. I'm thinking it might be the sort of like marbled effect of like adding some extra creamer in there or something. Um, and then adding some brown sugar on top of it. That's my guess for what it is. Interesting. Well, that looks delicious. So I think you chose well. Um, yeah, God, I still have not been able to get to the boba place near me. It's just never been convenient. In good news, we are getting a Chipotle near us finally, which is good because previously I had to drive like 40 minutes to get to a Chipotle, and now it's only going to be like 10 minutes. Which, I mean, I recognize to anybody outside of America who's not used to the car centric culture, 10-minute drive seems absurd, but in America, that's really close. It was good. I got it today to celebrate Meg's birthday. Ah, well, wish them a happy birthday. If I don't get to see them, actually, you know what? I'll remind myself to send a happy birthday message in their Discord. I will wish them a happy birthday. May, happy birthday. Yeah, fantastic. Lots of birthday spirit going on here at this interface of December and November. It's oh god, oh god. I was reckless. Yeah, so I presume you guys were having a good time together, talking with Meloetta. Okay, okay, so there we go. There's the deadline. If you get close enough to the top, it'll give you a little flashing indicator saying that like, okay, this is the point of no return, player. Oh, I thought those were the same thing. Crap. All right, all right. I need to think more. I'm not thinking enough. Use your brain. Okay. All right. Thinking. The Mexican's doing good. She's with her boyfriend right now, going to hibachi for dinner with family. Hibachi is such a good, like, fun dinner out. I've been to hibachi a couple times, and it's always a blast. I find it's more fun when you're with a large party, because I've been there a couple times with like smaller parties, and it just sort of feels awkward. But when you're with a large party, like a party large enough to take up like a good portion of one of the hibachi tables, I think that's the peak way to do it. Okay, I can clear up a little bit of space here by cascading these. Not much, but yeah. All right, I need to start thinking. This peach here, I'll need another pair. God, I could just move you over here and we'd be done. Might offer hibachi for the next squad meetup. We're debating on going back to our fave cafe because they're changing locations. The hibachi for a squad meetup is honestly a really good idea. Because again, like you're talking like a larger party size there. And also it's dinner and a show, so that's always fun. Going back to our fave cafe, that's a different mood. But it can also be very nice. I guess it really depends on what vibe you're going for the meetup. If you're going for more of like a boisterous, energetic meetup, or if you're going for more of like a chill, calm meetup. I think that's true. It is also really good for winter because of like the incredibly hot grills and fires. Cafe's next to a new poke place too. Ooh, this is a difficult choice. This is you guys are gonna need to like have debates about this. I feel like poke is more of a summer thing though. Am I wrong? I've never had poke, so like I don't know exactly what it's like, but in my head, poke is like a summer dish.